So how much will rates fall in the US in September, and how much are the rates going to fall up until the end of the year? This is Meir Walensky with Driving Markets on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can share, follow, subscribe, and of course, more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, so let's kick off and we'll discuss more about what we offer later on. So as far as the Fed is concerned, the main worry for the Fed is the fact that there is going to be a recession in the US. Now, the Fed is aware of it, but they're trying to cover it over and they're trying to hide the fact that there is going to be a recession. What are they doing? They're not giving you the real news. They're giving you part of the news or part of the truth. Remember, Jerome Powell is a very, very bright guy. He really is super bright, very intelligent, is no fool, understands economics, understands mechanics of how banking work, understands finance, top dog. So we don't want to be derisory or be defamatory. He's really, really good. Okay, but what the Fed is worried about, that if they tell you the full facts of what's going on, then that is going to cause panic as far as the public is concerned. So the things that you really have to be concerned with is looking at the rate of employment, rate of unemployment. So as far as employment is concerned, you're looking at the jobs opening report, and that just came out this week, the job opening labor turnover survey. And the job opening labor turnover survey was not particularly good. Again, frightening markets that there is going to be a recession. Furthermore, manufacturing output in the US, and we're talking mainly about the US at the moment, we're not talking about China or Europe or Canada. We're just focusing on the US because that is the number one economy globally. And as far as manufacturing output is concerned in the US, that's also under pressure, or in simple terms, lower than expected. Signs of a recession. In addition to that, when you look at the Institute of Supply Management on the Purchasing Managers Index, which is a survey of over 300 businesses, what are their purchase orders like? You've also got red flags or red lights that are flashing there as to danger signs as to their orders are diminishing. And as their orders diminish, then obviously that does not reflect or project a healthy sign as far as the economy is concerned. So when Jerome Powell and the Fed members are looking overall at the economy, then it is looking a little bit problematic. Now, I have been harboring, get the English right, apologies there. I have been harboring on about this for some time. This channel is unedited, so if there are any mistakes, they're just going to stay on the video. So I have been harboring on about this for some time, that the numbers coming out of Washington and the Fed are not solid numbers. They really are fake numbers. I mean, we had that recently, for example, with the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS office in Washington, that has overstated the number of jobs created in the last year. Surprise, surprise. I've been stating that non-stop for the last year, that the jobs being created are not true. They're not a real reflection of what's going on in the US. They're well overstated, and surprise, surprise, the BLS comes out and states clearly that the numbers are missing only by about 818,000 jobs. Overstated. In other words, 818,000 jobs that they said were created were in fact not created. That is a big problem. That is a concern, because if they've got that wrong, what else do they have wrong? So a couple of other things that they've also got wrong is inflation. Inflation is not running at 2.3%, 2.6%, 2.8%. We all know inflation is running at 8-9% minimum, probably more like 14-15%. When you take individual everyday items, you just take them out. Either they've shrunk, as I mentioned before, on YouTube and on Instagram, that's shrinkflation, or they haven't shrunk and they've still gone up significantly in price. So we've got real hardcore inflation in the US, and that hardcore inflation is not being passed over or projected or broadcast by the Office of Economic Statistics in the US, because they don't want to frighten the public. If the public knew the official figure of inflation was 8-9%, or really 14%, then that would cause panic. So what the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, are trying to do is just kick the can down the road, get through the election, get re-elected back into White House, and mislead you again on a load of trash. So going back to where interest rates are going to go as going forward from September. So I've actually put my neck on the line and stated they're going to be reduced by 6 to 8 times between September and December. Now, what's going to happen to the stock market? So throughout September, you're going to see probably a fall away in stock prices, around about 7 to 10%. And then by October time, as the interest rate cuts feeds in and prospect of further interest rate cuts, which there will be because they are going into an official recession, even though there is an unofficial recession at the moment in the US economy and also in the UK and in Europe and Australia. There's an unofficial recession with small business turnover shrinking or reducing, to say the least. Then what's going to happen is that as those interest rates come in, then you're going to have a boost in financial markets all the way through to the election and into Christmas. So you could see the markets pull away and then go back to all-time highs towards the end of November, December time. Come January, it'll be anyone's guess where we go. It depends who gets into office. If Trump gets in, the probability is they may sell off the market on the back of that. They don't really want Trump in there. But if Kamala Harris gets in, the market will continue rising. Either way, initially there might be a sell-off, but longer term, they're both good for the market, Kamala and Donald. And the reason for that is they're going to be pumping in huge amounts of money into the economy. So expect interest rates to continue falling from September onwards. I'm saying it's going to be about 6 to 8 cuts between September and December, and you're going to have a pretty volatile financial market. Things to look at are things like Nvidia. Nvidia has been the major puller up or the major force driving the Nasdaq higher, and as Nvidia comes off, then the Nasdaq's come down. So the Nasdaq has been sold off significantly in the last week, probably got more to go, and I would expect that the top 5 or top 7, the mega 5 or mega 7 will fall away, and as they fall away, then you could see that the Nasdaq falls further. I am a seller of Apple, for example. I don't think Apple is going to go anywhere near term, so I'm a seller expecting a pullback on Apple. I was also a seller on Nvidia at 128. So we looked at Nvidia, it's come all the way down to 106, 108. I expect it to go down to 192, which could be a very interesting level. But again, going back to the original topic of the subject regarding interest rates, then there probably is going to be a falling away over the next 5 months to 6 months. Inflation is going to pick up in 2025, which could be a concern. If unemployment rises, then inflation will go down. So it could go either way. If you need any more information on that, you can DM me. If you're looking for to join the mentorship group or join the webinar, we've got a webinar on Sunday, which is the webinar the 8th of September, discussing Donald versus Kamala, who's going to be the better president. We can look at that also at the webinar. And if you want to join the mentorship program, you can DM me. You can join the beginners course. We've got mentorship program, we've got Zoom calls, we've got the full shebang. This is Meir Walensky with Driving Markets. Have a great day.